today's videos, I would like to show you my favorite book collections of my children's book in English. So I've segregated them in a few sections, and I will start from obviously these are all of the books that I recommend, but I will start from the classic tales because these are basically ones that are out there in the market, like in every shape and form, whether it is an illustrated book, whether it is a short story tale, a big book with long stories to read, in whatever combination. So I have two here that are my children's favorite. The Little Red Riding Hood and The Ugly Duckling. So The Ugly Duckling is a Day-K edition. This is most of these are bought from Britain, but I'm sure they are online to be checked out. And I like the way how the things are described in this book. So it is illustrated with nice and neat illustrations, so it's not everything very fussy with too many details to distract the child. It is a nice illustration, very neat, and the amount of text is enough so that curious children can start following the letters, following the words as you read. And obviously it is well designed so you can read to your kids once you are in the bed and the light is dim. So the letters are large and they are against a very bright background. So you can easily, see them in the dark or see them from afar if your children are holding the book themselves. So this is why I like this book most. It is because some of the harder feelings that are described in the Ugly Duckling story are described very neat, very easy to understand by the children, and they are not complicated to explain as a parent. And also in the beginning it has some notes for parents and carers, and these are some bullet points that they would like you to think about in order to deliver the story better and to add more quality to the quality time you're spending with your child. And this is a classic tale from the Oxford University Press. So this is an older book. It is The Little Red Riding Hood, and what I love about it is that it is the full story. So sometimes in order to make a good design of a children's book, people tend to cut off important story bits and descriptions and make the story shorter so it contains less letters and more illustrations. But this is not the case. It is written in a manner that helps you learn the English language if you're not a native speaker. And as you can see, in the end it has exercises, so few questions and a few language exercises to make sure you understood the story well and you learned something from the book itself. So these are my two favorite of the classic tales. Of the newer, modern and written tales, I have so many favorites. Actually, I managed to count to put only 4, and this is my absolute favorite. This is Bobtail and His Floppy Ears. So this book is about a rabbit who is being mocked by his rabbit family, and they are very well described. The whole life of a rabbit is very well described. Again, I love the big letters, and this font is more easy to comprehend by the children than the Times font that was in the other book. But anyway, those are big, nice letters and big, nice words, and it has this encourages children to read. So when they see a bulk of text, they don't start reading. When they see one word only, like the name of the rabbit on top of each rabbit, they are encouraged to try to read that single word. So it's not too much commitment. Anyway, the story is about Bobtail being bullied by his brothers and sisters, and this brings him on a journey to find his true self. So, and this is explained in a very, very cute manner. So I can't describe how much I loved this book since the first reading. So obviously he goes and asks the mouse to ask his family whether he's a mouse, and they say, no, you're definitely not a mouse. And then the same thing happens when he tries to get adopted by the hedgehogs and by the squirrels, and so on and so on. And by being exposed as a bunny, seeking for his identity, by being exposed to these many different situations with different types of animals, he realizes that he's a bunny and that he needs to find his place in his bunny family, and he returns. So this is a very common situation to describe how children feel, especially when there is a single child and they are not the grown-ups in the family. So everyone else is a grown-up in the family and the single child is a child, and they don't feel like they belong because they are obviously physically different from the rest of the family. This can happen if a child has any type of physical or psychological disability, or any type of divergency, not necessarily a disability. From the rest of the family. And it can also happen in multiple siblings family, whether there is one boy or one girl against the opposite sex siblings. And it can also happen due to ageism. In example, one or more siblings are in a certain age group, and there is a lot younger or a lot older sibling, and they don't feel they don't belong. So obviously this is a very common story, and I'm sure that at least once in our lives every one of us has felt like this. And it is described in such a gentle manner, so easy to explain to children, so easy to relate, and easy to transfer the message that they have their own identity within them, and that once they find themselves, the group in which they belong to will adopt them, will show that they belong there and that they care. So this is my ultimate favorite, and I would like to add some of the another one that also transfers a very important message to children is Miss Penny and Mr. Grubs. This is by Lisa Campbell Ernst, and it is, let me see who is printing this book. Oh, I don't see any. Ah, there it is. Aladdin. Yeah, very discreet marking. Okay, so Miss Penny and Mr. Grubs is a story about two neighbors, and one of them is jealous to the other and tries to make an evil master plan. Again, it is unpleasant and an emotion that often occurs in children, but they themselves don't have the words to discuss it, and they don't have the adults won't like to discuss it. You don't want to go into what makes your child jealous about something, or how to act when someone's jealous of them, and so on. You just want to tell them, we don't accept jealousy, wrap it up, don't be jealous, and that is not helping on a in a long term. So this book gives you a great opportunity to discuss the jealousy and the steps the neighbor is willing to take just because he's jealous for no other real reason to the other neighbor, and how they can affect, and how the people don't necessarily suffer the consequences of people's bad and envy plans. So this one is also a good conversation starter for young children. There are two more. This is a Puffin book, Tiger Aspect Productions. This is a series of books, but we only have this one. It says we completely must go to London, and I must say I hate it because it contains a certain youth language, I guess, generational slang or something that I dislike, and I don't want. My children are bilingual; they learn English as along with their native language. But in any case, I don't want them to learn a slang before they master the second language that they're learning. And this is actually. Let me see. I don't know who's the writer of this one. Lauren Child, okay. So this is a kind of a concept book, and these children go to London, and it's older and younger children. It has a certain dynamic. It describes all the landmarks of London and all the adventures that they have. So I love the concept that you're describing a destination to a child, because they will remember it. Eventually they will travel to it sooner or later in their lives, and they will have like a very fond memories of a destination they're going to for the first time. So basically that is what I like in this book, and my children just love it. So the pages are designed, and the dialogue is designed in a way that makes them go back through the pages. So you can never really end reading this book, because they want to go back and forth, and they do that every time, and they don't do that with every book. So this is why this book is in my must show you list. Okay, and the last one for this video is The Bear and the Piano by David Litchfield. It is an emotional story. It is a long one, and again, it's not my personal favorite, because I dislike melancholic drawings of children's books. So you see how the whole drawing is kind of very melancholic. I know it is the topic. It is about sad subjects, but there is something in the way of the drawing the illustrator does draw that kind of gives you the sad note, and it is not a cozy sad note. I find this very melancholic. Anyway, the kids love it, sadness or melancholy is not something that we need to wash over with fake happy and positivity feelings. So if there is a book that helps them indulge into their sad feelings, tap into melancholy and so on, and it is a safe experience because it is a children's book, obviously, then I think the safest way to explore these feelings in your child is to read to them, be by their side, and discuss how do they feel after reading such books. And this is why I put this book in my special selection. So we have, let's sum it up, The Bear and the Piano, David Litchfield. This is Francis Lincoln edition, children's books. Charlie and Lola edition of Puffin books. We completely must go to London. I hope they have such books with different destinations. It would be a blast. Miss Penny and Mr. Grubs from Aladdin, written by Lisa Campbell Ernst. Bobtail and His Floppy Ears, published by North Parade Publishing, again UK, illustrated by Gail Uriel. I'm not sure who has written it. And Oxford's edition of elementary books, Little Red Riding Hood, otherwise written by Sue Arenga, and The Ugly Duckling, published by DK Books and illustrated by Giuseppe Di Lermia. So I hope you like my suggestions, and I'll see you in another video showing you the rest of my favorite children's book in English that we have.